Welcome to Cooking with Abba, and once again we are going up north to enjoy some Tubani. This is actually steamed beans and flour recipe, and you'd love it. And this is my Cooking with Abba twist. When a fancy girl makes a northern recipe, she adds her fancy vibes and then honors the northern recipe as well. So this is my Tubani, one of a kind, very nutritious, very rich, very tasty. So Tubani is made from beans flour, and you can make your own beans flour at home. What matters is you have your beans, whether it is black-eyed beans or red beans or whatever beans. All you need is your beans. So you mill this up smoothly. Typically, some may decide to remove the shell and the eyes of the beans, but sweetheart, leave it in. It's good for fiber. It's good for its own nutritious benefits to it. So once that goes in, I'm going to add in some baking soda, and you can use some baking flour if you want to, baking powder, but I like the baking soda. I added in salt as well, and then most importantly, I'm going to be mixing this with water. You want to do this Tubani in a very easy way. Some would also decide to pre-soak the fresh beans, remove the skin and the eye of it, just to give it that beauty, because that will give you very even colors without the black dots. And then they will decide to mill it up. But Charlie, save your blender, save yourself the stress, and then you can go this easy route, which will still give you good results with less stress. So once that is done, I'm just going to let it sit down, and typically this is served with onions and some pepper in there, but I decided to add my fancy twist. So I fried in onion and bell pepper, which will improve the aromatics. I added in some pepper oil, chili oil, and then I brought this to a fry, not to burn it, but then just to soften things up. Then I allow this to actually cool down. Yes, so that's a trick I did. And by the time the Tubani had mixed together, it had thickened. This was with 500 ml of water and 2 standard cups of beans flour. So yes, I poured in my oil and I poured in the fried vegetables into this. This is going to improve on the texture, because the oil is improving on the texture. The onions and then the spring onions is actually doing the aromatics aspect. Then obviously the pepper is also going to also improve the taste as well. So you can actually eat this without frying extra onions and things. Once you're done, you can eat this on the go. And this is like super fortified, super nutritious as well. This was overly thick, so I added in water, but you don't want to do this to be too runny. So that was virtually 750 ml of water I used overall for this recipe. Then I mixed this up, and then you can let it sit for a while, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, just to make sure that the beans absorbs quite a lot of the water in. If you pour it into your leaves and you fold like this, sweetheart, it won't really work. It's going to ooze back. So I just decided to go with a conical shaping. This is always made in leaves. So before I forget, you have to put some lining of the leaf into your pan so that it doesn't burn into it. And then you roll your leaf into like a cone. Then you pour the mixture, or you scoop the mixture into the cone you have made, and then you actually fold it over, like flip the mouth of the cone. So you want to make sure that you are breaking the buttocks very well, the base part very well, and forming a good cone. Yes, a good cone will help you. Then you break the end of it big enough so that it flips over. So there's no way your beans is going to be oozing out of this cone. And this is like one of the easiest way to go about it. And this kind of shape kind of helps you. It gives you a nice shape when you're done cooking. Like it gives you some triangles or something like that. And when you're arranging it in your pan, it also helps you because you're able to optimize your space. So a lot can go in with less stress as well. And your leaves, some may dry out. Yes, you can check out my channel. I have a shorts on this, how to prep and clean and keep your leaves for a longer time to make cooking more less time consuming and more fun to go with. So I'm just going to be doing this and arranging this, and trust me, it won't ooze out. You are safe. You can do this in layers, so it didn't like finish, like it was a lot. So the first base was full, so I just placed one leaf on the top, and then I did the top layer. The top layer, because the water is not going to get directly to it, I just did it light, not so heavy like the down ones. as well. So for this, you actually need steam or heat, and you can decide to also use water, like a lot of water, to also cook it. It depends on you. If you do steam cooking, it will cook. If you do with the water, it's also going to cook. So those are the base of the pan. Obviously the water is going to be around it, and that would also cook. That's on top too. The steam will also get to it, and that will cook. So that was just to let you know that however you decide to make it is going to actually work. And so you realize that in my small pan, I've been able to put a lot in because of the way I folded it, or I wrapped my Tubani, which is my beans flour made, which is virtually like moi moi kind of vibe. Moi moi is also from beans, but it's made with the palm oil and all those things. So yes, this goes onto my fire, and then I'm going to add the rest of the water I actually left behind. Yes, so I topped it up, and I had 500 ml of water which went in, and then I cooked this beautifully. And I realized it was not done, but the water was running out, so I added in just a little bit of water as well. You don't need so much water, it's the heat that you need. So I covered it back with the leaves, and if you think it's not trapping good heat, you can put a napkin over it or just to trap the heat. But this was doing me well. The leaves was helping me trap the heat in there. Now after 30 minutes, your Tubani should be cooked. Worst case 40 minutes. It doesn't take so long to cook. And the one on top, when you press, you realize that it's not dipping in, but it's firm. Then that means that it's actually done. Once the ones on top are done, obviously the ones down are also done. And you realize if I didn't have the leaf there, as it had dried out the water, it would have gotten bent. Yes, so that is why it is essential to lay your pan with the leaf before you go. And I didn't pour any water out. All I did was that I wanted to make sure the water in the leaf is actually drained from it. So I just shake the pan a little bit. So this is the Tubani, the one on top. And because the leaves were fresh, yes, you can get some green coloring onto it. It's because the leaves were fresh and was green. And you realize it's light, it's fluffy. Oh my God. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is like some moi moi kind of vibes, but moi moi usually do add in some eggs and all those ones to it. I'll try and do a content on that as well. Yes, so I'm just going to be taking them from the leaf. If you don't pour it properly into your cone, some parts would obviously be around it. Now to the base one, let's also see how that also came out. And you realize that that also came out very well. It's still firm. It's virtually like the same one up there. You don't even see the difference much. Just that because that one had more water around it, the leaf part, like it was not so dried on the leaf, but then the inside still had that same good result. And so I just moved them, and I like to store this in my bowl in my fridge, and I just take it in the microwave or take and steam it out again if I'm ready to eat. And you realize the texture was good, it was smooth, it was like guy. So I'd always recommend make your own beans flour at home. Then you know that it's not adulterated. Make your own beans flour at home and know that it is safe. You can add everything in your beans to it. The eye, the skin, everything is good for your health as well. And you know that your nutrients and everything is actually balanced in. So yes, I do this trick where I usually chop my onion, put some oil in, then I just microwave it for like 5 minutes. It's going to like dry out the onion and cook it up for you. Then I poured it over my Tubani as well, and I really did enjoy it. Like it was guy, yes. So this is my improved version of Tubani, which is very easy to make, very tasty, very yummy, very nutritious, and you can easily replicate this at home. This is very much friendly, do-it-yourself kind of steamed beans recipe, which is called Tubani in the northern part of Ghana. So I hope you do try this, but do share the learnings you've had here. Share the video to someone. Do well to subscribe, like, and of course share, because that is how we also feel appreciated and encouraged to do more good content like this for you. Till I see the next food video, do live life to the fullest. Be joyous, be merry. Lots of love for my team and I. Wow.